You're listening to international investment advisor Doug Goldstein on the Goldstein on Gelt show, the financial show where we'll talk about how you can make the most of your money. With all the confusing financial chatter bombarding you each and every day, Goldstein on Gelt will give you the practical information you want and need about living a financially stable life. Here's your host, money maven Doug Goldstein.
Okay, we are back. We are talking with Ilya Gurevitch, who is one of the great chess players of several years ago. He retired from competitive chess about 10 years ago and ended up on Wall Street. Ilya, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You became a chess master at the age of 12, which is actually quite young. Could you tell me, how did you manage at such a young age to develop the lateral thinking process necessary to become such a great chess player?
Well, Doug, it's a good question. I'm not sure if I realized when I was 12 that I had lateral thinking processes, but at that point in time, I was just a kid who was good at something, and I really liked it. And so with the encouragement of my parents, we kept going, and at some point, I reached a level where I was probably the best chess player in the country for my age group.
Wow. So your parents were very supportive. They talk a lot about, in fact, it's a very big concept today, that genius can be learned and isn't necessarily born. Did you work hard to become the best chess player?
I think I did. I think I also had a knack for the game. I could see things faster than other people, and it takes a bit of an imagination to play chess, and I think I had that when I was growing up.
Okay, so let's switch channels a little bit. We'll move ahead because now you are an equity options trader, and I want to ask you about the connection between equity options and chess. But before we do that, maybe you could just give our listeners a moment, a description of what equity option trading is.
Equity option or equity derivatives trading is basically the process by which you can invest or you can buy equities without putting all of your money into buying stocks. You can leverage the amount of money you're investing by investing in equities as opposed to investing in stocks. That is the simple explanation. When you get to equity option trading, that involves putting positions on and trading one option against another. And there's different strategies. There's volatility arbitrage. There's just pure what's called delta trading, which is directional trading. You can either go long the stock, or you can actually go short the stock, which is another big advantage of options. Instead of having to go out into the public and borrow shares to sell short stock, you can do it with options by buying what's called puts. If you buy a put, or if you sell a call, you are getting short the product that you want to get short, the underlying product.
Okay, so how did you get involved in specifically derivatives trading as opposed to individual stocks?
Right after college, I got interviewed on the American Stock Exchange, which was a pretty viable exchange at the time. Right now, it has merged with the New York Stock Exchange, and it's no longer active. And this was in 1996. And I started trading about 6 months later, and I've been doing it ever since. So right after college, that's what I did, and chess went bye-bye, and Wall Street went hello.
So what's the connection between chess and let's say in the way of thinking? Are there certain similarities you find between chess strategies and equities?
Yes, there are. As in chess tournaments, especially in tournaments which are called round robin or all play all, where let's say there are 10 players and you have to play all 9 of the other players other than yourself, you have to study and you have to prepare. So you have to know your products. You have to know if you're trading an individual product. You have to know what the earnings of that individual product are, what it's done in the past, what it's going to be doing in the future. Just like in chess, where you have to study your opponent's openings. In equity or option trading or in any types of trading, you have to know your product and you have to know it pretty well.
I gotcha. So it's certainly the knowledge. When you were practicing chess, one of the common studies that chess players do is they spend a lot of time looking at openings of famous games or many, many thousands of games, perhaps.
Correct.
Is that similar to trading?
Yes, you have to look at the characteristics of the product that you're trading, how it's traded in the past, and you have to predict with reasonable knowledge what you think it'll do in the future. Just like in chess, where you play your opponent, you know what he's gonna or she's gonna has done in the past, and you have to figure out what he or she's gonna do in the future.
I just want to know, is chess is currently still an important part of your life?
I still follow it pretty well. I know everything that's going on. I know, for example, of course, that Mr. Gelfand is going to be the next challenger to Anand in the World Championships, and we're all very pleased about that.
Yeah, we're very proud of him here in Israel, too.
Yes. Finally, at the age of 42 or 43, he made it, which is great. Which does not give me any comeback hopes, by the way, but it's excellent for Israeli chess, I think, and for old chess in general as well. Go ahead.
I just want to tell you one story about Boris Gelfand. When we were 12 years ago, I was walking my then 5-year-old daughter down the street, and some Russian fellow walks up to me and says, it says, "Does your daughter play chess?" And I said, "Well, no." He said, "Well, it's time she learns. She's 5." So I said, "All right, can you teach her?" He goes, "All right, I'll teach her." So Boris, the Russian, teaches my daughter, and then some other Russian guys in town came over and said, "Is Boris teaching your daughter?" And I said, "Yeah, he is." They said, "Well, do you know who he is?" I said, "I have no idea. He's the nice old Russian guy." They go, he was the trainer for Boris Gelfand. So my daughter still trains with Boris, and so give it another few years, and let's see if she's going to go up against Boris Gelfand, the hopefully future world chess champion.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
we'll wish him very good luck with that.
Yeah. We are talking to Ilya Gurevitch, who was the former top chess player in the United States when he was younger, and he since has retired from competitive chess about 10 years ago, come to Wall Street, he trades options, and he's been talking to us a little bit about option strategies. A lot of times people think option strategies are complicated. In fact, when individuals get licensed as investment advisors in the U.S., probably the hardest part of the licensing exam is the options section of that. Do you feel that options trading is something that normal people should have as part of their portfolio, or only professionals?
That's a good question, Ben. Options trading, I'm not sure normal people should really trade options. Options investing, I think, on the other hand, should be a part of people's investment strategy. There are plenty of simple option investment strategies which you can use where you can increase your returns because you are, in fact, trading derivative products. You are getting free leverage almost, and you can use that leverage to really, really increase your returns. And as an example, one simple strategy is what's called a buy right, where you buy an underlying stock and you write an equal amount of shares by selling an out-of-the-money call option. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to capture a move in the stock. You have a limited downside, and you have a limited upside and you have a limited downside. However, if you have, for example, a very quiet market, something like a buy right will help you capture a greater return on your investment.
So a buy right strategy would be, for example, if someone buys shares of stock and then agrees that he would be willing to sell those shares of stock at a slightly higher price, and in return for that agreeing to do that, he'll receive some money. He'll receive what's called a premium on the call, which that is a strategy I think that a lot of people often use. Do you feel that cuts them off from the upside too much?
Of course, you do limit your upside, but like every strategy, there's upsides and downsides. In this strategy, you are buying stock, but you're actually hoping that your stock goes up slowly. If it goes up too fast, then yes, you are limiting your gains. However, you are also, if the stock goes down, what you're doing is because you sold some premium, you are essentially buying stock at a lower price as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's the buy right strategy. Any other strategies you think are appropriate for regular investors?
For regular investors, I don't think so. I think regular investors should be investors who buy things, not who bet against the market going up. And for that reason, doing other strategies, I think, would be just, I don't know, it would be out of people's comfort zone. And then if something does go wrong, which it inevitably does, that's when people lose money, and that's not what we want to have normal investors do. The pain threshold for people who invest money is much lower than for people who trade money.
I got you. So now you're a professional investor. You're trading. This is your day job now, yeah?
Correct.
Do you feel that the
unless it's talking to you, Doug?
Well, I'm glad. Listen, come on every week. We'll talk about the markets. Do you think that that the thought, the decision-making processes that you developed from a very young age as a chess player are something that you're applying today in the world of trading?
Definitely. Like I said, preparation is something that's common to both chess and investing. Also, the pain threshold is something that is common in both things. In chess, sometimes you have situations where there's a game where you're slowly being ground down, and you have to either stick with it and hope for the best, or you sort of, I guess the word I'm looking for is you act out. And sometimes acting out is not what is called for, and sometimes it is. And so you can develop a feel for when to do things like that. So there are some similarities between chess and investing, definitely.
All right. Okay, we are just about out of time. We've been talking to Ilya Gurevitch, who is not only a fabulous chess player, but a world champion level chess player from a former life before he came to Wall Street. Ilya, I want to thank you very much for sharing with us some of your insights today.
All right, Doug. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Goldstein on Gelt Show with money maven Doug Goldstein. Doug's weekly radio show is heard around the world, but if you miss it, you can download the podcast at www.goldsteinongelt.com. The Goldstein on Gelt Show gives you up-to-date financial ideas so you can get on the path to financial freedom. If you'd like your questions answered on the air or off, send Doug an email to doug@profile-financial.com. It's your money for your future, so join Doug every week to build your wealth on the Goldstein on Gelt Show.